This is the application for the Tapo Smart Wi-Fi Outdoor Plug P400M. Here we can see it breaks this plug down into two separate outlets. However, on your Wi-Fi, it's only going to show up as one outlet. So what we're going to do is if I click into one of these, it's going to show me all of my stats. I can trigger without even going in, turning on and off the outlet, which is right over there. I'm going to come down to my plug 2 because that has the most runtime at the moment. Here we can see our plug information. So there's our name, its location. I have a schedule set up. So this is an event right here. We have our individual image for this, which we can change. We have our power on and off toggle right here. And you'll notice there's a little subtle animation that happens as you do this, kind of brightening up the top layer, kind of starting there and moving out. Here we have our runtime for this plug. So right now you can see it has run for a total of 10 hours today. It has run for a total of 61 hours over the past 7 days, and over the last 30 days, because I've just only gotten here, it's the same as my past 7 days. Notice that there is no electrical usage information here, just runtime. Coming down, we have our schedule. Now I do have a schedule in place for turning things on and turning things off, and that's going to be something you have to do. If you're going to use the schedule, you have to make sure to set a trigger action for both, whether you want it on and off, or if you just want it on, that's going to leave it on all the time. But to do this, we come up to the upper right-hand corner here, press the plus sign. We would select our custom time. We could do sunrise, sunset, or set a specific time, turn the device on or off, and then select what days of the week this action happens, and then hit the save button. You can see that's why you have to set a on and off in order for this to work correctly. To the right of that, we have timer. This will allow you to set a timer for turn device on after X amount of time, and then turn device off after X amount of time. To the right of that, we have away mode. So you can set your away mode and then individual days. So I can set from here, or I could do sunrise. And what that will do is simulate somebody being home. It'll simulate activity on that particular switch. If you have this plugged into a light, it'll turn that light on and off on a random happening during the time frame for your away. Here we have smart actions. If I select smart actions, this is where you can come to really fine-tune things that happen, where they have a couple of preset ones, but you can have, if camera X detects somebody, turn outlet 1 on, turn outlet 2 off. If a motion sense happens, do this. There's a lot of things that they kind of pre-program for you, but you also have your own that you can add here. You can also do that by pressing the plus sign up here. Shortcut just creates a shortcut for you. Automation will allow you to do if this, then that thing. So effective time, in this case, always, when, time of day. Add a trigger, meaning if this, a device time or whatever happens, then this happens. There's a lot of in-depth things that you can do in the smart actions area, and I really appreciate that. We have device sharing. If I select this, I can share this, but people will need their own Tapo account. And then you have help and feedback. And last but not least down here, favorites, which will have it on the front page of your Tapo application. You can turn that off if you want to. Now, this is everything that we can do for the plug controls, but I want you to notice something right there. It might be a little hard to see. There's a little pill, and if I swipe, well, look at that. You can swipe between your two smart plugs because this is a single device. So even if you click into one, you can swipe over to the other if you wanted. But we're going to come up here to the sprocket icon in the upper right-hand corner. These are our settings for the Tapo plug itself. Here we can see this is how we can change the name and the icon. Backing out. We can also do that for plug 2. So remember, this is a single unit, but we can access individual plugs, so to speak. Coming down, we have location. I can change the location of where this is set for. I have LED status. I have auto, off, or night mode. And then night mode, it will use sunrise and sunset based on your location, or you could do custom and set, hey, make sure the LEDs don't show up during these specific time. I like that level of customization. Coming down, default state. Well, here we go. Last on state, or off state. This is something that I really appreciate because if you lose power, what the status is that the plug comes back as is very important. So this is how you'd be able to change that. So in the state that it's in right now, it would be returning to the last on state. So however it was. If I select off, when it reconnects to power regardless, it will make sure that that's off, which is really helpful if you have this plugged into a light and 3 o'clock in the morning, you get power back. But if you have this in a location where you want to have a light on and it's 3 o'clock in the morning, you could set it for on, or you just leave it at last on state, meaning what was the state of the plug when you lost power. Auto off timer, if I turn this on, come into one of my plugs, I can select this to be on and then automatically turn off after how long? 2 hours all the way up to 23 hours. So if you have something that every day needs to be turned off at a specific time, this is where you would come in and change that so that would happen. We have our placement guide. It's going to walk you through placement of how this should be. We have group. Well, right now I don't have a group. I just have plug 1 and plug 2, but I can add this to a group by selecting a bunch of other items that Tapo has and create a group like that. Smart actions, we touched on that before, but here we go. You saw that page. This is how you could set up if this then that happens with the Tapo plug, just different location. Device information, a lot of sensitive information in there, not going to show you that. And then finally, firmware, by default, it will be on auto update if you do that during the setup process, during an off time. But if you don't want that, you can turn off auto update and select to manually update it by coming here. We can also select remove device by selecting remove at the bottom. And that has been everything that we can do for the Tapo P400M in the Tapo app.